Recording button.
Hey guys, it's Tam Johnson here. I'm back with another video podcast this week. I haven't done any video podcasts on the saxophone, or I haven't uploaded any new saxophone covers of songs that we all know and love currently as of right now, because I recently moved out of my old apartment complex that I lived in for 11 years before I became a saxophonist. But in this video tutorial today, we're going to cover how to hit the basic high notes with your voice box. And I'm going to show you how that's done without using the octave key. Now, in some cases, you will need to use the octave key because that definitely does help a lot. But I'm going to show you how to hit the basic notes, the basic high notes that you need to know. And these are the basic notes that you need to know on the alto saxophone. How to hit those notes with your voice box. Now, this approach compared to just hitting the octave key and letting the note go up is a lot easier than hitting the octave key. However, this approach is tough, and for some people, that might not work for them just yet, but for others, it may be a little bit awkward. But I'm going to show you how to hit those notes with your voice box. Now this approach again is tough, and I'm learning it day by day. It is tough because there are some times when the voice box wants to do it, and there are times when it doesn't want to do it. So you know. Just be patient with your throat muscles while you do it, while you learn, and don't strain the muscles as you do it. Just take your time, slowly, but we're going to go over the basic notes. We're going to start off with note G, because that note's pretty simple, and I'm going to show you how you can hit your voice box. Not hit your voice box, but how to hit the higher note G with just your voice box without hitting the octave key. We all know the approach of hitting the octave key. Now I'm going to show you how to hit that note with just your voice box, and I'll show you. And this approach is fairly simple. Now, as you get higher in pitch, it becomes a little harder. But as you train your voice box to do it, it does get easier, but the octave key does help. It really does help. So, and I'm going to show you that now. We're going to start out on the lower note C and work our way up to the higher note G. Here we go. Okay, that was the lower note G. Now, here's the higher note G, and this is how you do it. Okay, what you have to do is you have to gently raise the pitch of your voice box without your jaw muscles getting in contact with the reed. And that's a very tricky procedure. But once you practice with this enough, it can be done really well. It can be done. But in some cases, you will have to use the octave key to hit those higher notes, especially in the altissimo range. I haven't done the altissimo notes yet, but I am getting there. as I become more advanced over time. So anyway, let's go on to the next note. We're going to go to the C sharp note. We're going to do the same procedure. You can also hit that note by letting go and just using your voice, like this. You can also practice long notes with this as well, but I used my voice box for that. But I also used my voice box when holding down this lower knob in the middle, which takes you down to the low note C sharp. Let's do that again. Okay, that can be a little bit tricky, but once you do it enough, it'll become a lot easier. All right, moving on to low note D, and work our way up. And we're going to push the saxophone forward a little bit, and just let the neck strap help us out here. Okay, there's the higher note D without the octave key. Now we're going to move to D sharp. All right, note E. Okay, and this is a great way to learn voicing techniques on the saxophone. This is a great way to learn the voicing techniques on the saxophone, so you don't have to do as many fingerings as far as your hands getting tired when you don't need to use the octave key for those notes. And this is a great technique, a great voicing technique to learn. Now, if you're a beginner, you may not want to start on this, because for a beginner, like I was in the beginning, that your voice box is not going to do it. And even if you're an intermediate person getting used to that, your voice box will adapt to it, because if you've been playing for as long as I've had, a year, 2 years, then it's going to become a lot easier the more you practice this. All right, so moving on to the next note, note F, and then F sharp, and then note G, and then that'll conclude this video. Feel free to comment on this. For those of you that need to leave a comment, or for those of you that would leave a comment, or that would love to leave a comment, I gladly welcome your comments on this. So okay, next note, note F. And again, if you're a beginner, this won't work for you, because you're getting used to making that sound. So if you are a beginner, this won't work for you. if you're an intermediate player, it's very important that you learn this. That way, you don't have to use the octave key for these notes only when you get up there to the altissimo notes. Then you need to use those.
Window, logged in Tim Johnson, button.
Okay, let's
window,
wait till that.
Logged in Tim Johnson.
Let's
button.
wait till that gets quiet. So that's just my screen reader there, but we're going to go ahead and ignore that. Okay, next note, F sharp. Okay. Last note, note G. Okay, well, that'll conclude for now. I hope you learned how to do the basic voicing features on the saxophone without using the octave keys if you don't need to, especially when you're playing these notes. Now, if you go up to A sharp, you can do this too, as well as note A, note G sharp, note A, note B sharp, and then I think, I don't know if you can do it with note B. Let's try that actually. Let's see if we can do that. Now this is where it gets tricky. I don't think you might be able to. Let's see if you can. Oh, you can with note A, or note B. Let's go to note A. Let's test it with this. But as it gets higher, it does become more difficult. But again, if you practice with this, it'll become a lot easier. Let's go to note A, and then A sharp, and then G sharp, and then that'll be it. Okay, there's one more note we want to try, and this is the note C range at the medium note. Now this is one, I know I said that would be it, but this is one that a lot of people may have trouble with, and you may need to use the octave key for this. But let's see if we can do this. Note C, and get it up there to the higher note C with just your voice box. And again, this is a tricky one, but let's see if we can do it. Okay. Okay, yeah, this might be tricky, so you may need to use the octave key for support so that your voice box can hit that note. And again, I'll have to talk to my saxophone teacher, Michael Rodriguez, if there is a way to hit that note without using the octave key. But in some cases, the octave key does help, so we're going to have to use the octave key in some cases. Okay, there's the higher note, and again, I was using the octave key because my voice box didn't want to do what I wanted it to do. But the more you practice with it, the more it'll become easier over time. Let's go to the last note, or the next few notes. Note C sharp, and then note D, and then that'll be it. Okay. Okay, it almost did it, but not quite. So yeah, we're going to have to use the octave key for this. Okay. Okay, the last note is note D. Oh yeah, I don't think you can hit that high note D without the octave key, I don't think. So we're going to have to hold down the button in the center that will allow us to hit the octave key. Okay, let me see if we can hit that. Okay. Okay. Ah, I see. So you don't hold, yeah, I forgot about that. You have to hold, yeah, you only have to hold this, the octave key down plus this button down in the center on the bottom. So let's hold that down. Now we can do what we want to do. Okay, and I had to use the octave key for that because unfortunately at this point I don't think you can use just your voice to hit that note when you hit the high note D. I'm not sure if that's possible, but I'm going to look into it Friday when I go into my next lesson, see if we can do that. There might be a way, I just got to figure that out. But that is a video podcast on how to do the basic notes with using only your voice box. That way, you're not straining your hands when reaching for the octave key all the time. That way, your hands don't get tired a lot when you're playing in concert, when you're playing the basic notes. And I am using, you might be wondering what reed I'm using. I am using a fiber reed. It is a synthetic reed. By the way, these reeds are really nice and they don't collect a lot of spit like your, excuse me, like your regular wooden reeds do. And the other cool thing about these reeds is that they last a lot longer than these regular wooden reeds do. You'll have to get these online, unfortunately. You won't be able to get these in store because a lot of the music stores don't carry them, unfortunately. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this video podcast, and comments are welcome. And okay, talk to you soon.
QuickTime Player, movie recording window, stop